everyone, and welcome to part 3 of today's 12-hour Academy Day. Unfortunately, Sassy with Sander has fallen ill, so we're going to give a quick shout out to Sassy with Sander. Hopefully she is resting and not lurking in chat. If you are lurking in chat, go to bed. You can check her out on Twitter there, and also she is a part of Jam Game Streams, where they chill and talk about games and stuff, so go and check them out. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, big thank you to Alice, who had literally like 3 or 4 hours notice that I needed her to do a one-shot today, and she's jumped on board. She's going to run some dark matter for us, so thank you very much, honey. Check out our social links. There you can find our Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. All of the wonderful things there. Discord, I'm pretty sure we're over 1,000 members in our Discord now. It's a thriving community. I can recommend nearly everyone in there. They're all welcoming and great. Go and say hello. Big thank you to the Raiders in the middle of the break as well. Tabletop Horde, Virginia, thank you. And LVMJ, thank you very much for the raids, both of you. Also, check out our Twitter. Send me a DM. I'll get you a game. We actually have viewer games in... Is that a lie? Stella, our game's a viewer game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we actually have viewer games in Dark Matter running right at the minute. So send me a message and I can get you in one of these games. Also, check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press. They created the Dark Matter content. Justin's in chat. I literally forced him to put it on pre-order, so you can pre-order the Dark Matter hardback now. Go and look at their website. Go and check it out. Also, check out the Deck of Many. You know about the Deck of Many things. They have a Black Friday sale on at the moment, where there's sales on all sorts of things, including their Humblewood campaign in hardback, so go and check that out too. If you spend over $100, you can get free shipping or free delivery with the code Scratticus. Also check out Hero Forge, our latest sponsors, who create minis. You can go and customize your own miniatures to within minute details of poses and pictures. Lots of thousands of combinations of parts. Go and check them out. Okay, I'm done spieling everything. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Alice, how you doing?
Oh, hi. First of all, I am going to apologise if I mute myself a lot today. I have got a mild bit of a chesty cough, but I'm glad always to be back in Dark Matter. I'm WhiteRabbitPic on Twitter. I do photography stuff as well. You can check out my Patreon. Otherwise, I'm a DM and player on this channel. And to everyone's utter shock, we're not going to be on Argo this week. So, yeah, let's hop around and say hi to everyone. Let's get in order. So we're going to start with that Kayla person. Oh, hi. Could you let know where we can find you and what like class and race you're playing and what your character name is?
Okay. Hi. I'm that Kayla person. You actually can find me mostly here and Twitter, really. I'm here Mondays at 10 p.m. EST for Tact and Diplomacy, playing a very moody boy. And then you can actually find me in the DM seat on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. So there's those two places. And I will be playing Kimmy today, who is a half-elf sorceress whose body is basically infested with nanobots. So, you know, that's fun, you know.
Perfect. That's how you want to live life. And then we're going to hop down and say hi to lovely Stella Luna. Oh, hi.
Hello, hello. I am Stella Luna here on Twitch. I'm a variety streamer. I do things of the artsy-fartsy kind and also various types of TTRPGs. You can actually find me here on Mondays at 1 p.m. I am on Scrat's Mage Hand Mondays show. And I also do various types of TTRPGs at my channel. On Wednesdays at 9 p.m. I play Symbaroum, which is a Swedish TTRPG that was translated into English. It's like a dark fantasy kind of thing. It's really interesting. And I also do my own Dark Matter at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays too. I'm so excited to actually be a player.
Mood. Oh, and who are you playing today? Sorry.
Oh, yes. I am playing Stress. Stress is a near-human reptilioid barbarian.
Oh, I love it.
And her aesthetic is she has a giant rocket hammer. She likes to smash things.
I love it already. And then we're going to hop round to the lovely Critical Bard. Oh, hi.
Hello, Critical Bard in the house. Hi, CB here, Critical Bard across all social media channels. I'm very excited to be playing something I never thought I'd be playing ever in my life, but it's going to be great. Places you can find me other than online. On Sundays, I am on Angry Nerd Girls Twitch channel playing oh, what is it called? Princess Saves Dragons, where we basically turn Disney princesses into a campaign group, and it's been great. On Mondays, I am on Role Players Twitch channel playing the Age of Arcana, playing a Medusa fighter. He's my boy. I love him. And on Fridays, you can catch me on Lady Tiefling's channel as we descend into Avernus. That's been amazing as well. Other than that, yeah, I'm just around. Me. Today I will be playing Epsilon. They are with them pronouns. They are a amoeba. Yeah, I said that. They're an amoeboid void cleric, who currently is acting as the doctor, the nurse, the whatever you need medically on this ship. But who knows what their actual motives are? But they are very nice, and they are them.
Awesome, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Scrat.
Oh hi. Today I am playing CD Neo. Crashed dummy. Nickel 0. I was not assigned a designation number. I am the captain of this ship.
Oh god, here we go again. Okay, perfect. So, all of you are currently sort of making a fairly slow pace through space. You've just left one of the big ports, and you are on the ship, the Olympius. And this ship isn't new. It's not too old, I'd say, but it does look to be held together a little bit with duct tape at some parts of it, probably down in the loading bay and things like that. Where would we find everyone on this ship? And it's painted a very sort of almost like a leafy green. You can see where the paint is peeling off, but it's got the Olympius sort of painted on the side, which you're pretty sure wasn't done professionally. Probably one of the crew members has done it to save some money. And it's not a huge ship. You've got a bridge. You've all got your own rooms. You've got what the AI, Mora, calls the cafeteria, her favorite place, where she likes to go and chat to all of the crew members when she should be doing something else. But where would we find Kimmy on this ship?
You know that duct tape you mentioned? Kimmy is probably the one reapplying said duct tape while listening to rather annoying poppy music at full blast, probably echoing through the whole ship, just reapplying and humming to herself and fixing up the ship, essentially.
Yeah, you're down there and you're sort of like, you keep like rubbing down this duct tape. You can feel like probably you see something sort of hanging off that looks quite important. A little bit of duct tape, I'm sure it was sorted out. That light couldn't have been used for anything really important. And could you make me a perception check, please?
I could certainly try.
You can.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes, you certainly can.
I was not expecting that.
Very nice.
You see this and you hear this little whir, this little clink and this little beep from somewhere, and you notice from the ceiling where you just duct taped one of the vents back together, because for some reason some of the vents keep opening up on this, like the screws are loose. You see two little bright eyes in the dark as they were, and you hear a chatter as it starts disappearing down this air vent, and you can see it trailing the duct tape with it.
Can I follow it for a little bit? Like,
would you like to
hear
climb
it
into the air vent?
Well,
or do you want to go underneath?
Yeah, underneath, following the sound, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, you can continue, and you hear like it's almost like a ball is rolling, like that sort of continuous rolling sound.
Huh. Okay.
And you can still hear that beep, you still hear that whir, that clatter, and you can hear that, you know, that stretchy sound of someone ripping duct tape, just shredding duct tape. And you can see some of it is patching up the holes, some of it you're pretty sure they're just, whatever it is running the reel to the end. And As we follow this air duct, where do we find Stress? Whereabouts are you on the ship as Kimmy comes into the room following this air vent?
So Stress is definitely in the mess hall. Has a data pad open and is munching on some space food. I believe in this setting they have like replicators where you just have like marbles, just bland marbles as food. So Stress has the a bowl of these and is currently writing poetry on the data pad.
You're sat there in this mess hall, and as you're very well aware of the AI Mara, who actually wanders the ship in a very holographic form, she moves very silently, if it wasn't for her humming. And she seems to just wander around the ship, check things here, and you see her sort of, oh, look at that, you know, like sort of maybe moving things here and there. And she comes and sits on the table opposite you. Hello. How is the writing going today?
Hello. I am having some trouble with rhyming. What rhymes with orange?
Orange, orange, orange. And she just starts reeling off words that don't necessarily make sense. And she continues to do so when... Could you make me a perception check, please?
Absolutely. Some orange. Perfect. That is exactly what I was looking for.
Okay. On a 3, you're so distracted by Mara, who sat in front of you, who is now just reeling off these words. In fact, she's now changed from something that sounds like orange to she's on blue, flu, clue. Like she's just reeling them off when, for a brief moment, you think you hear something as Kimmy comes into the room, and you look around and the bowl of questionable marbles is gone.
A little clawed hand raises up to reach for the bowl, notices it's not there anymore, and Stress will look over to Kimmy. Did you take my marbles?
Did you take my tape?
Can I eat the tape?
I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, you can if you want to.
I will make a note of this. And you just see the clack, clack, clack typing into the data pad.
There's a thief.
Mara turns to you, Kimmy. Good evening, Kimmy.
Hi!
Are you here for nutrition? And she sort of gestures over to what looks like a vending machine with a variety of flavored marbles in it. And like those plastic cups down at the side.
Not today. Not right now. Maybe later. But I was chasing down my tape and I heard something in the vents. Is there anything else on board?
You were chasing Tay?
Somebody took my tape. I put tape over something downstairs because it's broken. But I was fixing it, and they took my tape that I just put down, and then I heard rolling, I guess, and I followed it here.
Please bear with me a moment. I will ask the other crew members. And you see her sit very upright, place 2 hands flat on the table, and her eyes start to whir like, you know, that snowstorm on a TV screen.
Kimmy is like fascinated. She loves anytime Mara does this. She's just like, yay, she's doing it again.
You can lean right in and there is no effect. It's like she's gone into the system right now.
It's all good. She loves just watching it.
And Epsilon, where are you in the ship right now when you get this effectively a bad connection phone call coming in from Mara?
Epsilon is definitely in like the medical ward, whatever would be like the equivalent of. You see them playing with something that might be a roach. Not sure. And they're, ooh, yes. Ooh, this would be fun. And so they are, again, an amoeba, and mostly green, blue, a little bit of purple, but around their head area, almost looks like a swirl, and it's dark and almost gray, black, purple. Just a small mark. And that starts to flash as they're talking as a small pocket of void appears in front of them, and they drop the thing inside. And like, oh, yes. Ooh, this would be fun. Ooh, let's see.
And you see like this fizzle sound coming from somewhere. You're not too sure what it is. But as you're leaning in to look at this roach, you can see this big red button on the wall and a very chunky, old phone, which looks like it's been nailed to it at some point, but is definitely detachable. And it's just going, mah, 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 mah. And you know this is the only phone that Mara uses. Even though she doesn't need a phone, she insisted on a phone.
She insisted on a phone.
She likes to feel more human.
Fair, more than Epsilon is for sure. Epsilon sees this. Ooh, a call for Epsilon. Ooh, who likes Epsilon? Epsilon will be fun. Ooh, and they kind of shift over, and just something appears out of their form that vaguely resembles fingers, and they grab it. Hello.
Good evening, Epsilon. We have a query.
What's the query?
Other than some of your experiments, is there anything else on board that has been causing problems?
Not that Epsilon knows of, but Epsilon can keep watch.
It would be appreciated. And could you roll me a perception check, please?
I shall, using very void-like dice. Sorry, and I'm using raw dice. I don't have 20 set up.
Go for it.
That is. Oh, you said perception. That is a 15.
On a 15, you stand there with this, you can feel your hand sort of moving, slowly trying to absorb this phone as Mara is talking to you, and you hear a smash of glass behind you. And as you turn, you see this tiny little robot painted in very orange, yellow, and blues, only about this big, wide eyes, sort of a spanner for one arm, a clamp for the other, and it's just got one big wheel in place of its feet. And there's that moment, like when you catch your cat stealing food, where you make eye contact with this creature and it's holding the roach above its head, and it pauses before making a sort of as it sort of quickly whizzes out of the med bay and whizzes away.
No, that was for the void. You can't have that. Epsilon needs the all. You're already gone. And they kind of just put the phone back and set up their area more than it probably needs to be set up. No, come back with that. Epsilon needs that. Epsilon needs it now. And they kind of just scuttle over to...
Yeah, you can rush, you can follow out of the med bay. And as you do, you will see CD Neo. What are you doing, Scrat? Where is your character? As you sort of bump into Epsilon, as you see this small, strange little creature whiz past your path with a roach above his head, looking very pleased with himself. You are muted. I don't know what kind of... You can't scream in space.
No, no one can hear you in space. Since leaving the factory, CD Neo has done some personal customizations to themselves, including a slot where a mouth should be. They don't actually need a mouth. They've got a transponder, a receiver, and all that. But they've put a slot in specifically so that they can hang a cigar in it, unlit at all times. They're wearing a long leather duster, and on each hip they have a gun and a long rifle across their back. They are, they're standing on the bridge because they feel that's where the captain should stand. And they're just, obviously the AI's piloting, they're not piloting, they're just standing there in case anyone needs them.
Yeah, you've got there's about 3 or 4 copies of Mara. One of them is currently sat in the pilot seat in a slightly different color of this hologram. as she's steering the ship. And there's a moment when you, in fact, no, can you roll me a perception check for me, please?
I can. My ocular receptors are well calibrated. Yes.
Yes, they are. There is a moment, yes, you do see, you hear Epsilon before you see him as they come sort of, I guess, squelching, sort of wobbling down the hallway. But the first thing you see is this Wizmo, this small little robot, this Fey enchanted robot with a roach above its head, tearing along the corridor from Epsilon and away, sort of going up one of the walls and heading to the air vent. And as you do, you see one of the air vents open, and there's about 6 of them trying to reach down for him.
Before like the little Wizmo gets too far, I have an ability called Quick Draw.
Don't you dare shoot a Wizmo.
I'm not gonna shoot a Wizmo, but I'd like to draw my revolver, which has as we'll pull it, we'll do a nice cinematic shot around, and it has like dawn etched down the side.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna like hold it and go, freeze.
As you do, it pauses, stops to look at you, and it goes, "Roo!" And it pulls up and it finger guns. And it points.
I draw my blaster in the other hand.
And Epsilon, you come around the corner to this face-off between this tiny little Wizmo and this huge Vect. The Wizmo currently holding this cockroach in one of its hands.
Epsilon finally stops running / scuttling. I really don't know what they do. It's not running. Stops. Ooh, what is this? Ooh, CD versus the robot versus the CD. Ooh, come here, CD, touch. You have guidance. Just in case.
Be warned, small robot. I have guidance.
It bleeps at you. And back in the effectively cafeteria sort of mess hall.
I've literally just given CD's ocular receivers the ability to squint.
Eyebrows, metal eyebrows. Stress and Kimmy, you see a screen come down, and Mara looks to it and goes, "We seem to have located the problem." And you see an image of the bridge. You can see Epsilon down there seems to be rooting for CD, who is pointing his 2 guns at this tiny little robot. And you can see the few up in the corner.
See, there were tape thieves. We gotta go get them.
I must reclaim my marbles. And you just pulling out from under the mess table this giant rocket hammer. It's essentially a regular 2-handed hammer, but it has rockets attached to it.
Yeah.
The captain needs our assistance.
Let's go support the captain. And Kimmy is already tearing out of the room, just running and following this.
Yeah, you can sprint down the corridor and you sort of come upon this scene that you saw on the screen. And you all stand there in this standoff with this one tiny robot. The rest of them have actually sat down at the top of the vent to watch what's going on. They don't seem too bothered. One of them you can see just sat there tearing bits of tape and scrumpling it up and throwing it as it's going. Sometimes it sticks it to parts of the wall. But it doesn't seem to be doing. You can see one of these Wizmos coming out of the vent covered in duct tape. And there is a moment when Mara turns around from the captain's seat in this sort of like proper little, sci-fi swivel chair. In this sci-fi swivel chair, as turns round, we have a little bit of a problem. There seem to be more than just the 7 here. And they have got into the wiring. There are 36 to be exact.
Oh.
Where did they come from?
They are Fey.
Oh.
Did we
Where did they come from?
I'm not too sure. We must have picked them up at the last port. Did any of you buy anything untoward?
I turn to look at Stress. I don't know why.
You see the scales on Stress's cheeks, they begin to turn a little purple. Her hands grip tighter on the rocket hammer. She's deliberately not looking at the captain.
You see a tasteless, nutritious marble roll to by your foot. And then you see one hovering just in front of your face. In fact, quite a few of you suddenly start to see these marbles hovering in front of your face. And Mara looks to you. They seem to have disabled the gravity, and you realize you're all starting to just slowly drift off the floor. Epsilon, you're sort of not losing shape, but you're having like this weird moment before you manage to regain awareness of your shape.
Epsilon totally, once they realized they started floating, they look at the little Wizmo and their body shifts into one of them, and it gets
as if you shift into the shape of this Wizmo, you see one of them sort of, do like a little swim back to you to have a look at you, sort of comes right up to where your eye is and sort of like mimicking your movements. And then the lights go out. Everything flickers, and you hear that engine sound of doo, 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 doo. Mara turns around. We have a bit of an issue.
Uh-oh.
May I preemptively suggest, crew, that those of you that need oxygen fetch an oxygen mask?
Okay.
That sounded like the power.
They drop down from the ceiling.
Do Amoeba need oxygen?
I think you should be okay. I want to say, maybe
I was looking at the stats. It doesn't actually talk about breathing or anything, so I just don't know.
Like, you would last longer without, if you see what I mean.
Great.
And I don't know if you'd eat the oxygen mask by accident. I'm not too sure. But there is a
How would
pause.
that work? It's an enigma.
But Mara
Just
looks-
floating along the top and accidentally collecting a ton of them in his bag.
There's a moment when Mara turns to you again. It's like, I have located the closest planet. I suggest we land and fix whatever damage it is they have done. You can see these Wizmos sort of drifting across the bridge through the air. Some of them are trying to avoid Epsilon as they almost sort of go through him.
Epsilon, catch one.
Oh, should I? Ooh, yes, the Void would like this. And they try to latch on to one as their form shifts out of the Wizmo form, and like it's almost like this big glob of like two arm-like appendages tries to.
Can you make a sleight of hand check for me, please?
Yes, and I'm also putting things in roll 20, so I'm doing this. Okay. You said sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
You said
Wow.
character 2.
You
yeah.
sort of you head towards. You do that very slow sort of. And
That
it just
reminds me,
drops.
though. Thank you very much, the Maharishi who gifted a sub to Finger of Vecna, and also Potato Hollow Gwyn, who redeemed an advantage of their channel points. Stella Luna and Critical Bard, you both have an advantage to spend at your leisure.
I won't use it right now, but thank you for
use it?
the sub. No, I don't know.
You sort of do that, and this Wizmo does that sort of like, sort of up, and keeps drifting upwards, and you can see Mara not struggling, but trying to take control of the ship as she turns it and starts heading you in this direction. You can hear that engine chug, that sort of chug as it goes down, and you can see through the huge window at the front this planet that there seems to be a lot of water here, but there is also a lot of skyscrapers, buildings, and things like this. A lot of sort of nature mixed in with all of these huge metal buildings and structures as she slowly guides you into, as you get closer and closer, you can see a landing pad. And it's almost like the energy sort of starts to run out just as you hit this landing pad, as you hear a kutukuf, and you all just sort of fall, and the gravity of the planet just pulls you all back down, and you'll land on this ship.
Ah! I just thought that was necessary.
That was a rough landing.
Oh, my scales.
It's okay. Inside the void is rougher.
Is everyone okay?
Epsilon is fine.
I can still walk. So I will be fine.
I am still without my marbles, but I am fine.
There's a huge scurry as you see this roach dropped, this masking case drop as these things whoosh back up into the air vents. And as you look at them, you hear that clang, that doo 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 doo, as someone is knocking on the main door of this ship. So you can hear that metal sort of bang sort of echo around. And this sounds like a heavy thump. And you can look out the window and you see this huge landing pad surrounded by lots of ships. This looks like lots of people land here regularly. You can see lots of people, humans, tieflings, elves, gnomes, dwarves, you name it, they're there. And they all seem to be running about. Everyone seems to be in a bit of a rush. You can see this huge city of these towering buildings with huge screens, lots of light. There is no sun in the sky. Everything is dark apart from, you sort of second guess it. You think it's daylight to begin with, the amount of lights that are pumping sort of like this energy and the light into the area. You can see everything as if it was daylight, but as you look further up, you can see how it gets darker and darker and darker the further up you go. You see a tree here and there. It's nothing like you've ever seen. The trunks are purple, and all of the leaves stretch out, and they're very silver. And you can see lots of vines sort of creeping through here and there. There's a few birds that fly overhead. You can see a lot of sort of hover vehicles. They don't seem to be a lot of ground vehicles. People just seem to be walking or riding these huge bird-like creatures. And then comes that bang again, that doof, 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 and you hear, hello?
Captain, I believe somebody is calling for us.
This is CD Neo of the Olympius.
Could you open the door, please?
Can I like? Is there like a camera or something that I can like spy
It's like
on
a
them
peephole
for?
that
Yeah.
you can like look through. Yeah, you can have a look, and you see this gnome with his hands on his hips. It's like a fiery red hair with sort of it seems to shine at the ends, almost gold, as he stares upwards and looks at the camera. You can see a bird on his shoulder.
Oh no, not him. Okay. I'm gonna set a timer for like 10 seconds until the like door opens, and then I'm just gonna run towards the door.
Okay. You can run towards the door, and as you do, this door opens. You hear the and this landing thing goes down, and you hear, hello! And this tiny little gnome takes a step in and looks around with a little like clipboard.
I'm here to assess your vehicle to see what it is that needs to be done. You seem to have a pretty rough landing.
Yes, we have taken on some kind of mechanical pest in the near future. They seem to be of Fey origin.
They're pausing.
I believe I have come across these before.
And he sort of takes out this pen from behind his ear.
Can I have your name, please, and the name of your vessel?
even though he stood like right next to Olympius. Like he's just asking.
As I have stated, I am CD Neo. That's Charlie Delta Nickel 0
Could
of
you
the
please
Olympius.
confirm how many life forms are on board?
Do I include the pests?
It would be efficient if you could. If not, do not worry.
40. 41, including myself.
Takes a note for a brief moment.
Do you have any illegal cargo, and are you harboring any fugitives on board?
To the best of my knowledge, no. Come,
And
I will
are
give you the
you-
tour.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just here for the checklist. My name is Dilly. One more thing. Are you interested in our cleaning service and shutdown service today?
What is included in the cleaning service?
Well, we have a very fine crew.
And you turn around and you see a group of what looks like 7 gnomes. They've all got mops, brooms, like you can see they're very extendable poles that glow. And you can see an Aarakocra sort of behind them with a very sort of big sponge on a stick.
Yes, I would be interested in the cleaning service. Please clean out the swivel
Fantastic.
flaps on the exhaust fumes, especially. And while you're at it, why don't you change the oil and put some new landing gear on her?
Of course, we will send the bill to you at the end. Come on.
You see Epsilon, like, part of their form just kind of, like, slowly, like, not melts, but, like, peers off and, like, kind of come around. Please do not touch the medical area. Thank you. Epsilon requested. And they kind of shoot.
Please
Noted.
report to Epsilon if you encounter any injuries or abrasions whilst working on the ship.
Is there anything we should be aware of that may cause this for us?
The little robots that have taken over the entire place?
Ah, pest control.
George, and you see like this orc that sort of comes along carrying these like little cages as he sort of truds past you. But CD and Kimmy as he walks on board.
This is one of Grack's guys. He's very good.
They stole my tape.
I'm sure we can replace that for you. If that
Oh,
is-
okay.
They may or may not know the finger gun's cantripped. There were threats issued, but they did not fire.
It's all right. Grax has got it covered.
And he just sort of like slaps this huge orc on the back who just grunts a little bit, gives a bit of a smile, and starts heading into the ship. You see him put on this mask and sort of just around his nose, sort of tie it up at the top, and he starts to sniff, and you see him start wandering, sort of lugging himself around the ship.
Otherwise, until we're here, we would ask if you would vacate the ship so we can carry this out to the best of our ability. If there's anything you do not wish to be cleaned or touched, please lock it before leaving, and please leave us the ship's keys.
I will lean to the phone, which is bound to be next to the door. Old red one, I'd like to think. And hold it to my ear and go, addressing all crew members. Addressing all crew members. Addressing all crew members.
We're right here. We're right
I was going to
behind
say
you.
they're all by the door.
I put the phone away
Hi,
again.
Captain!
We need to vacate the ship whilst the pest control takes care of the Wismo infestation.
We should warn Mara, too. I'm gonna go lock my room! And you see Kimmy, like, just bolt away, running again. She doesn't walk. She just runs everywhere.
So that's also slithers after Kimi.
Epsilon shall return and do not count. And they kind of slither off to their place, and you see them just like grabbing like random vials of stuff, maybe like the leg of a random item thing, just things that might help in the future. How? They don't know. It doesn't matter. And they grab it and they stuff it into their thing. They have like a little belt of like different patches and stuff. Though it kind of sucks into their form a little bit. And that's okay as well. And then they kind of scuttle back. The room is locked, I think. Though, if something from the void comes up, please say hi.
Is this something we should be concerned about?
Perhaps.
Interesting.
And it makes a note down on this like clipboard again. And this is pen and paper. This isn't like a sci-fi thing. This is just pen and paper. And he looks at it and flips sort of the paper over and makes another note. You can see some little sketches down there as well. And he turns away and he's like,
please feel free to enjoy the city.
he sort of looks down at this huge watch on his hand. It looks a lot bigger than it was meant to be. It looks like an actual clock face, which he has somehow attached to himself. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Okay. You can see a little door where you're pretty sure a cuckoo comes out of. And he looks down at it.
Please feel free to be back in around 3 hours.
One last question.
Of course.
Where are we?
Oh, Vita64. I'm afraid I didn't. Did you not know?
I mean, I didn't, but
Well, welcome to Vita64.
yay!
What's on Vita
I'm gonna go buy
64?
a t-shirt.
Well, on Vita64, we've got great taverns. We've got lots of gift shops. Lots of mechanical bays. There's quite a lot here, really.
Any temples to the void?
I can't speak specifically for myself, as I do not know, but I'm pretty sure you'll find some form of temple, and we don't mind what you pray to here.
Perfect.
Very
He doesn't mind
accepting.
either.
Please vacate.
And you hear like this bang and this puff of smoke, and you see a Wizmo run out as this orc is coughing in the background.
I'm sure we can handle that.
Kitty cat. Celeste will disembark the ship, and she's wearing a backpack that is very, 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 very full. This is not normal for her. Normally, she is unburdened for the most part, but there is a very large, very full backpack on her back. She kind of has her head low and is not looking at anyone as she leaves the ship.
Maybe there will be outlaws on Vita64.
Captain, you dropped that, Captain. Here, wait, let me get it for you. Gimme quickly grabs it and hands it back to him. Here you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's not discuss this.
Never. Never, Captain.
We might discuss it later.
Epsilon might discuss it later. I won't.
And Epsilon kind of scuttles out like they do. And just because we're there. Again, Epsilon is like this purplish, well, greenish blue with some hints of purple. And there are three distinct things you see within its form. You see where the chest and body should be on the inside is some form of mail, perhaps scaly. You don't really know. It's just there. You also see a repeater that's floating down next to where like their thigh could be. And then again, as I said, that belt that has random things upon it. Other than that, it's pretty naked, but again, it's a blob of mess and excitement. So
Perfect. As you all leave the ship, you have all your gear with you, and you see this huge metal archway, which you start to walk through, and you enter this huge, almost like marketplace, and it's a real mixture of these huge metal buildings, metal structures, and this silvery and purple-like vines and plants that seem to be sprouting from every corner they can. You walk through, there's neon lights, there's huge screens. You see all these hover vehicles, sort of, you see a young kid on this, like, basically a hoverboard swing past. You go, sorry, as they sort of almost take you out as they swing past You can smell all of these exotic foods. You're not too sure if you've heard of some of them, but you can see lots of pots and pans steaming, these woks that are hissing and sizzling. You can see these huge creatures, almost like if you mixed like a crocodile and a dog together, like in the head shape, but it stands upright like a person, huge broad shoulders, and you can hear them laughing and chatting as they're reaching out and waiting for their food. You see people sat at these open-air taverns. A woman with very, very bright green hair, very tan skin, and very green eyes to match her hair. She's very striking, and she looks completely human, apart from when she casts her eyes at you briefly, you notice her eyelids close the opposite direction, sideways rather than up and down. She gives you a smile before turning back and continuing her conversation with this huge orc. They seem to be making an exchange for a ship as she holds this small disc out in the palm of her hand, this hologram of a ship sort of circulating round, all the information coming up and chatting. Is there anywhere in particular you would like to go? Is there anything like a tavern? Is there anything like a shop you want to go into? You can see what looks to be like market stalls, these huge, you can see a dwarf that is stood definitely on a stool, behind this huge stool, bigger than most humans actually. You think it's probably built for the larger creatures, but you see these huge, almost like curtains of cloth. And all these different multicolored patterns on this cloth. You're not sure what they're used for, but there's reels and reels of it. And some of the patterns, one of them, you can see a spaceship sort of embroidered onto it, but it moves and it flies across the material before disappearing around the other side.
Kimmy can't decide where to go first. Kimmy's head is literally on a swivel, just, oh my gosh. Just so excited about everything that she sees. So she's not going to be able to make up her mind, but she is skipping along, very excited, swinging this giant wrench, just like as she skips, just like, oh my gosh, this is the best.
And if you look up into the sky, you can see that it is usually nighttime. It's got a weird haze, like when you look over a city at night and all the light pollution sort of goes up. So in the distance, you can see specks of what you can guess are stars, but you're not too sure. Could everyone roll me a perception check, please?
Who?
Everyone. If anyone's looking around for like details specifically.
Sure. Yes.
Not as good as the first time, but I'll take it.
Okay. Those who rolled over a 10, you can hear the gurgling, this bubbling sort of sound. And at first you think it's some of the big stew pots that are going on around you. And then you see these huge clear pipes that seem to be attached to all the different buildings. Some of them are just in the middle of the street. At first you think it's a fountain, as they seem to channel directly into the ground. And this very
Dallas,
sort
breaking
of...
up for everyone or just me?
Oh,
No, she was a little for me.
Yeah, can you just repeat that last little bit, Alice? You kind of like, we had some stop motion there.
Sorry. You can see these huge clear pipes that are channeling straight into the ground, and there's things coming up from the ground with it. There's almost this purple-like liquid. You see these huge glistening bubbles, and it's got a strange glow about it, but it's coming directly from the ground.
Do you all see this? This is pretty nice, I think. What is it? What could it be? And Epsilon, not even waiting for an answer, just kind of scoots over to the area.
I will follow. I do not recognize the purple fluid.
Dress will follow the captain.
I tap one of the pipes gently, very gently, not to hurt it, but just kind of like ting, ting,
Okay,
ting with the wrench.
I won't make you roll a strength check. you tap it, and as you do, it sort of bends away from the tap, sort of like as if it moves up around. Epsilon, if you go up close to it, it sort of presses itself against the glass. It sort of stops. You see some of the bubbles stop, and you almost feel like you're being observed by it briefly before it keeps going. This is just a channel. It's almost like a river flowing through these pipes.
Okay. Is this something I would recognize?
This is hang on, let's see. Let's have a look. I don't think it's something you would recognize straight up, but if you want, you can either roll an investigation check or a nature or medicine if you're doing.
Great, I will do medicine. I have one more point in that one. I mean, they're both really good. See, yeah, great. One more point. Doesn't matter. That's how it is. You're really good at the rolls, and yeah.
You probably have something like a scanner or something on you, or whether you sense it by using this void stone, or effectively what is in your forehead, effectively. This is alive. You feel like this is a natural life. This isn't man-made. This is almost like something is being directed into this. And by alive, I don't mean just nature like a river. I mean, it seems to have a mild consciousness.
It's very interesting. Epsilon doesn't know what it is, but someone else might. It's alive. Not like me, though.
Could I use, I don't know how data is used, but could I use data to research it, quickly be like, oh, let me look it up and type use a kind of like a comm.
What is data? Wait.
Roll me roll me an investigation check with advantage.
Oh, okay. Oh,
perfect.
I'm surprising myself tonight.
You look at this, and after you can see Epsilon sort of getting closer and taking almost like readings or making some connections with it. And on that investigation, the data you receive from this is that whatever this is, it is thousands and thousands of years old going through this. This isn't like a new thing that's being made and pumped. This seems to be something old. In fact, you can kind of hear whispers coming from it. Lots of voices, not just one. Lots.
That's really old. Is it saying anything to me or to any of us, or just whispers incoherent low whispers?
Roll another perception check for me, please. Okay.
What is happening tonight? I never roll this good. Something bad is gonna happen.
You try and tune in and you try and listen, and it sounds like hundreds and hundreds of voices, all different, adult, child, that's claws, sort of adult, child, male, female, you name it, it's all there. And it doesn't seem to be like it's talking to you. It's almost like some of them are having conversations with each other, some of them are making statements, some of them sound either distressed, some of them sound happy. Some of them sound just as if they're having a chat with their neighbor.
It's
What's going
talking
on?
And it's old.
It's old.
It's old. I looked it up. It's real old.
Is it?
And it's talking.
So you said it's in a pipe or something. Is it going somewhere?
It seems to be. It seems to be coming up out of the ground, and you can see it feeding into the buildings. You can see it feeding into the little shops that are dishing out all of this food. And if you look on your earlier perception check, you can see this huge stove with about 6 or 7 big, I guess, like huge giant like wok style things that are all being cooked up, and they're channeling into these as if it's giving it energy.
Interesting.
Stress will walk up to one of the woks and point at it and speak to the owner. What is this with the pipes? What is going on?
And you see this elf with these very long ears. These are star elves. As they sort of look to you, you see these huge eyes and sort of a tattoo that goes all the way around one part of the eye. Very, very pretty, very, very blue. And she looks at you. It's like, oh, that's what gives us energy. That's what creates the light. That's why it's not dark here.
Why does it talk?
I mean, it's just always done that. It's just a sound it makes. She... No, go on.
Where does it come from?
Well, the Earth, the planet itself. From Vita64. It's always been this way.
How much for your food?
Oh, well, what would you like? Would you like
This
the
one.
book?
I am sorry, shopkeep. Stress has lost their marbles and needs sustenance.
I
you
am
poor
very
thing.
hungry.
You poor thing, have it on the house, have it on the house. And she sort of like leans over and you get like this, it's like this pastry, like how a pasty would be, but half open. So there's no top to it. And it is full of, to be honest, you're not too sure, but it smells great. There's a lot of vegetables in there that are very different colors. You think you recognize some vegetables, but they just look a little bit different. Maybe to what you've been used to where else, but that smell is like a stewed meat that's been cooking for a very long time. Lots of spices. You can see at the back people pouring in all these spices, all these oils as it's being fried up together and put in these like pastry pockets, and she just hands it over like looking fairly distressed that you've lost your marbles.
Thank you. And then a little forked tongue just kind of and Celeste
Okay.
will turn away.
How kind the people are here.
Yes.
There's a short pause for a moment where you hear that gurgle stop. And the gurgle sort of, you can see if you look back at the pipes, it bubbles. And it's just sort of the bloop, 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 as you see like huge ones sort of go up and then pop. And the flow of it starts to slow down. And there's a moment where you see everyone in this city, I guess, where everyone is sat down having drinks, stop and turn and look to their closest clear tube that's happening. And they all immediately start getting up, moving, grabbing their things, walking away, start moving fast.
Stress, how much did you take?
Just one pastry.
Is this happening outside, or at least away from the tavern, or wherever they went to get food?
This is
Because Epsilon
happening-
never left. He's just staring like, ooh.
Yeah, you're watching it as it slows down. And it's like it just stops and holds in this tube. And
Hello? Why'd you stop? You probably should keep going.
it drifts. And you see everyone, you hear chairs being knocked over as people start to move pretty quick as they go. And that woman earlier, the one with the bright green hair and very tan skin, those very bright eyes, runs, sort of moves through the crowd to you. Goes, "You're not from here, are you?"
No.
What gave it away?
You need to get inside now. You need to get inside. The tubes are stopping. And Epsilon, you can see it sort of slowly start to drain as if all the purple is leaving and all the lights in the city start to flicker. And you see a flash of that night sky. It's like, you need to get inside now. We all need to get inside now. And she starts sort of grabbing at all of you to pull you towards where that restaurant was, where you've just come from.
What's happening?
I'll explain when we get in there. We need to get in now. And there is a moment of shutdown. You can see at the far end of the street, specifically you, probably Epsilon, because you're looking through the tube, that doof, 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 as each district starts shutting off.
I'm sorry, that imagery is something I love in life. I did that in a game I did before. Continue.
And you see all the lights start shutting off towards you, and this person starts to panic. She's like, "We need to go now!" And could everyone make a perception check for me, please?
Ooh.
Oh, all these perception checks.
Hey.
Oh god, there it is. Yep, there it ended.
Okay.
So you gotta one up me, Scrat? Right.
Literally. Epsilon, you stand there for a moment and you look through that glass as you're watching all the lights go out and that purple drain as it drips down from the tube. And you see something moving in the darkness.
I do
As
have
it
dark vision too,
starts
if it helps.
to move towards you. You're not too sure exactly what it is, but there's something moving in the shadows. And CD, you see this too. There is almost this strange hissing-like sound. And the both of you on those rolls, as this woman is trying to pull all of you into this restaurant, some people start running. They're running away from the darkness. And for a last split moment, you see one person run and fall. And a hand grabs round their ankle. You see the shock in their eyes for a brief moment as they're dragged into the darkness and the shadow. And that's where we're going to have our break real quick. So we'll be back in a minute. Scrat, I'll leave that over to you.
Okay, yeah, well, everyone, we're going to go and take a quick break. Take this opportunity to grab a bio, grab a drink, get the kettle on, all them good things. We'll be back in around 5 minutes. If you have a subscription, enjoy this lovely work, this lovely artwork in the background from Dark Matter and Mayhem Press. If you're not a subscriber, enjoy the Twitch ads. I meant to say enjoy, not endure. Enjoy the Twitch ads, and then we can look at the artwork afterwards. We'll see you in a minute. Bye. Oh, hi, and welcome back, everyone, as we come back from that break. Alice, we'll hand straight back over to you.
You see this person disappear into the darkness as they lock eyes with both you, Epsilon, and CD as...
Now, question really quickly.
Yes.
Was it the person who was talking to us?
No. This is someone further down the street.
Okay.
And as the darkness has come in, go on.
No, go ahead. No, that's what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Literally what I need to know.
The person who is with you is literally grabbing at all of you, like, get in now! And you can see that Star Elf is holding their shop door open and beckoning to all of you to come in.
Can I, before we go inside, can I turn on my thermal vision?
Oh, yes.
And just see if I can see anything through the darkness?
Okay.
It's got to make that noise, you know.
And through those goggles, like, you look through and you see the heat signatures starting to pop up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and more start to appear. And you notice some are on the floor, very much crouched, down low to the ground. You see some on the walls. You see some higher up. They
And
seem
do I-
to be everywhere.
With my 60 feet of dark vision, I don't know how dark it is, if it's dark enough.
Mhm.
Can I make out what they are?
You
Are they
can
too
make
far?
out what the closest thing is for sure. It's more like you get an outline in the dark. There's this, it's a very humanoid shaped creature. You see a very grayish sort of skin, 2 arms, 2 legs, but they seem to be moving in a very animalistic kind of way. And you see this hair that is sort of hanging over the front of their face. And you do see through this hair 2 very piercing white eyes, very white eyes. And as you sort of like squint to have a look through the dark, it's almost as if it notices you do it, and you see its head snap up from the person it just dragged in and look directly at you. And you can
Me
hear
or
a hiss at you.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, the question is here in my head, and you all don't know what that question is, and I have to make a decision. Yeah. You see, Epsilon gets... Oh! Snap. It needs to make a con save.
Okay, what is the
I am
need to pass?
doing... I will post it. I will, if I can actually... Come on, push the thing. Do the thing.
How
There you
does
go.
an amoeba snap?
Oh, great. Then it's fine. No. Did I lie to you? My DC, my saving throw is...
If it's 15,
it's
it meets
14. Oh, you got lucky.
You snap your fingers, and as you do, you see its head slowly tilt to the side, almost to look to see what you do. And you see it blink a couple of times and shake its head. And it slowly starts to move towards you as this darkness keeps coming. Almost like it hasn't hit you yet. But you can see it coming down, effectively what this corridor of this city is. And as it moves, you see its shoulders sort of moving in a slightly different way, its legs doing something very, very similar as it scurries towards you, walks.
As it's moving towards us, I'd like to pop off a couple of shots.
Roll for me.
So I have a thing seeing it heading towards us, the heat signature heading towards Upsilon, Captain's Reflex, piercing damage. That's an 8, that's not going to hit, and repeater in the other hand, 18.
That does hit.
Oh, very nice.
Do you know what? Sorry, I'm going to overcharge this shot as well.
Okay.
Well, 10 radiant damage.
What does that mean?
As a gunslinger with an electronic weapon that doesn't have the overheat property, I can overheat it to do an extra die of damage.
Ooh.
And as you do, you get this, you see this on through your things, this extra heat signature leave your gun as it heads out and strikes this creature. And Epsilon, more than anything, you see this this creature sort of almost like bend ragdoll over as it gets hit by this thing and starts to roll backwards. It screeches so much so that everyone can hear it, and it's very ear piercing. And it's fallen back. You can hear like a sizzle from the gun as it's sort of starting to back away and scurry back into the darkness.
Oh, I think the captain did it.
Can I use technomancy to try and keep like all the lights that are on around us before they go out as bright as possible?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Roll me a sleight of hand just to see.
Oh no, it's a
how
cantrip.
long... Oh, is it a cantrip? Okay.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. Here, I can post it for you.
Thank you.
Oh, so many cool things. Yes, Mage Hand, y'all better do that.
Yeah, no, you're stood in the center of this thing, and you can feel it like a struggle. You definitely do it, but you feel how much energy it's taking. Like something is almost trying to draw against you, and you're managing to hold the light where you are.
I kind of like go over to the wall, like this lady's like pulling us, and like I fall against the wall, kind of put my hand against it, go, just keep the lights on, please. And like little tiny nanobots come out of her fingertips and go into the wall to keep it all on.
You see them scurry up towards some of the lamps, and they start fixing themselves around like the fixtures and the arms as they start. You see them all start to glow and pulse as this light is trying to get brighter and brighter as they scurry off to all the lamps on this one building in particular, as the shadow starts closing in, almost creating a circle around all of you as Kimmy is managing to hold this light
inside.
still.
We should get inside.
What the captain said.
Epsilon agrees. Almost like a rubber band, like part of Epsilon like stretches out, and then the other part goes.
You manage to grab the door frame and effectively pull yourself in that way, sort of
Exactly.
skipping past everyone else almost. Stress, are you heading in, or are you doing anything else?
Stress is still holding the pastry untouched. Just literally just turns around and slithers inside.
Save the pastry.
When we
I've
get
been
inside,
Save the pastry, save the world.
I have to do it. That overheated blaster, I have to like take it and as I blow on the hot barrel. It's like a hairdryer.
I mean, you do. And you all head into this shop. And Kimmy, as you're probably, I'm guessing, the last one pulled in, as you're holding that light, you can keep the lights inside, on inside of the shop, but this woman pulls you in a way, and the nanobots scurry back down very, very quickly. And they slam the door shut. You can see the Star Elf starting to push stuff up against the door. This small Star Elf child, which you can assume is their little helper, is starting to push stuff in front of the door as well. And this woman with the green hair looks at you and goes, "Turn the lights out! Turn them out!"
Okay.
And everything goes dark. And you see, especially with your dark vision, Epsilon, you see the Star Elf put her finger to her lips to be quiet as she slowly sits down on the floor. And on the glass outside, you see something stand upright from crawling position and start to walk past the shop window, sort of dragging these very long fingers along the glass, tapping as if it's trying to hear. You hear the Star Elf sort of like cover her child's mouth as he's sort of trying to be quiet. I need you all to roll a stealth check for me, please.
I was gonna say at the same time, could if I see this, wait, I actually need to, before I lie to you, you know that happens. Let me just make sure that I'm not being a butt face. Yes, thank you. At the same time, those inside will see that mark glow, not glow enough to cause light. If they can't see it, it's dark vision. I mean, it's dark. But outside, across the way, about 30 feet away, they will hear, or you will hear the sound of like, is it a whisper? Is it like the sound of silence? Who knows? But it's something from the void, basically. They are trying to, if they get the idea that they're trying to figure out what's around, Epsilon is going to get their attention somewhere else.
Okay,
I'm using
awesome.
thaumaturgy, by the way.
Awesome. Okay, so first
But I will
of
also
all,
still
hang
do a
on.
stealth check.
I was gonna say, everyone roll a stealth check for me. Welcome,
Thank you
Rangers.
very much to Kentucky Hawkeye, who's coming in with the raid.
Oh lord, watch I have like the worst stealth. I was correct.
Please.
Look at that
Do it
nat
every
20 just sitting on
time.
the other side.
I'm going to use that advantage.
Perfect. Like a ghost, you move through the night as you're in this shop. And there's a moment, all of you stay very, very still. But there's one moment when Stress is sat there holding that pastry as a piece of this vegetable falls out and hits the floor. And you see two hands immediately press against the glass. But Epsilon, with that, you throw a sound the other side of the street. You see this creature sniff the glass before turning its head very, very quickly and darting off into the darkness towards that sound you made. And there's a slow pause.
I'm not sure who's next to me. Whoever it is, Epsilon just leans over because he can see them. They can see them and just. You might want to thank the void. The void might have saved you, or maybe it didn't. Who knows?
I will bear this in mind.
Love it.
Where is everyone in here?
I would assume that I was next to the window.
Okay.
If I threw the thing, I would assume I looked and went, "Wah."
Yeah, you could have, with that stealth check, you could literally press yourself up against the glass next to this thing and then throw the sound. So,
Oh, the Emivoid could become the glass. Ooh.
Exactly.
and the glass.
Literally, could get touchy shot to get like form into the glasses on it.
Oh, that's like Terminator 2 stuff. Look.
But I couldn't do that and do thaumaturgy, so I couldn't.
And there's
It's
a
in the
pause.
rules.
And you see this woman who's crouched down with you. You watch her blink sideways, briefly. They should be gone in about 5 minutes. Then the power will come back on. And you can see this mother and child stand there, just nod as this woman reassures them. And in no time at all, it's like there's a click and a doo as everything starts to power up again. You can see all the pipes in the wall suddenly fill with this purple-like liquid. The whispers begin again. And you see a sigh of relief go round. And from outside the window, you can see people reappearing out of shops. You see, you can see a restaurant owner coming over and righting the chairs that were moved, sort of knocked over, and people trying to get away very, very quickly. And this star elf stands up and goes, well, back to business then. And she starts moving the furniture away from the shop door.
What was that though? What? Not to be a tourist, but I'm gonna be a tourist. What was that?
Oh, they're the Under-Earthers.
The
Do you not have Under-Earthers where you are from?
Do I know what an under-earther is?
Yeah, roll a history check for me.
I can do that. I'm proficient. What? 1. I was correct. Great.
On a nat 1.
Yeah, you called it, you know.
You feel like you've never ever
Someone
heard.
donate and give me an advantage. Now.
You feel like you've
Thanks.
never ever heard of an under-earther. You think you've heard of an undergrounder before, but then you realize it's a completely different thing.
I want to note that that's a natural 1 and a natural 20.
Yeah.
That's messed up. But great.
The duality. Also, Alice,
it's the void.
I should let you know that Isriver donated to give Kayla a disadvantage. And I think we've bought enough time for an advantage to come in. Kentucky Hawkeye has gifted an advantage.
Hang on. So I have a disadvantage to use on Kayla. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, specifically
Okay.
on Kayla. Yeah, Hawkeye's come to your rescue, Epsilon, and gifted you an advantage.
Okay, hang on. So let's just run through this. So what? Epsilon has an advantage. So does Stress. And I'm sorry, Kimmy, you have a disadvantage. Okay.
Did you
Yeah.
want to use that advantage now, CB?
Well, I have an advantage?
Yeah, Kentucky Hawkeye just came in and donated you one. You
Oh,
asked and
I-
thou shalt receive.
I feel like it'd be worthless on this one, though. Like, I want to, but it's like... No. But yeah,
There's one for
You know
Kimmy
what?
as well. So
you know what? Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Let's use the advantage so I can know what an under-earther is. And, you know, with a natural 20, I might find out how to kill it.
An under-earther you've heard as a childhood tale across space. They were told as like an old wives' tale to scare children to make sure they went to bed at night. However, you do know with your research, specifically in the medical sort of field, it's real. All myths come from somewhere. Something snatches people in the dark. And there's been research of something called an under-earther, and it's literally called that because they dwell in the dark underneath the ground. They don't seem to be great with sunlight. And you do know from your research, probably from some of your books, they're very humanoid in shape, and it's exactly as you saw it in the dark. Some people call them witches in old mythology.
Interesting. I basically relay all that because I won't remember it.
And and there's a pause where this woman looks at you. It's like, my name is Triss. So who are all of you? Because you're not from around here if you were so happy to hang out there in the dark.
I'm Kimmy. Hi.
Hello.
we are the crew of the Olympius. We are here getting our ship cleaned, repaired, and de-infested.
The infested. What have you got?
Wismos.
Oh gosh, yes. No, they get everywhere. There's a man down the road used to have an antique shop. Used to.
Oh.
Oh.
I think we're fine. Epsilon saw this one little... Is Dilly a dwarf or a gnome?
Dilly is a gnome.
Gnome, great. There's this person who came on board. They're helping. And as they are saying this, they actually shift into Dilly because they tested him.
And he sort of this woman looks down. Triss looks down and goes, "Oh, that will be Dilly. He's pretty talkative. He's a nice gnome."
Seems nice.
Did you
Oh,
impersonate
gosh, yes.
the bird as well?
Oh, there's a bird. That is Dilly.
I totally think, yeah, there's like a little appendage that's wherever the bird is.
It just. Oh no, that's Dilly and Tilly. They've come over here after apparently some pretty dodgy stuff happened on their planet, so they come over here for a bit of, a change of career and see what happened.
And they picked a place that's got a bunch of demon thingies in the dark.
Hey, whatever happened to him there? Apparently, this is better.
Must have been absolutely awful. I wonder what it could have been.
It was awful. It was terrible, in fact, Scrat. And she pauses and looks at all of you as the door opens and the star elf sort of opens the door. You can see firing up all the pans again. You see all these tubes going up. Well, I suppose we get on with everything else until they come up for their next feed.
And when
Thank
will
you.
that be?
When these run out, and she taps on one of the tubes. Don't tend to know when. It could be 3 hours from now, could be 3 days from now. But you got to be quick on your toes.
Thank you very much to Mackenzie for the resub. 9 months in a row. That's a sub, baby.
Sub baby. Name Dilly.
Named Dilly. Alice has named it for you. There you go. Give my advantage to CB.
Hey. Thanks, Mac.
It's a factor of life here. It's something we have to deal with. We know where they come from. We know where they go in and where they go out. But if you try and block it, it's like an infestation. They're going to find another way out.
But what is the purple stuff anyway?
That's the source of the planet. They use it. It's what keeps our world dark. They monitor it.
They monitor it?
They're what's keeping it light. Always bright here.
Why did it stop?
Not sure. We used to have day and night, like most people. At least that's what someone said at one point. I wasn't here. But when they came along, they control it. They have the light, it keeps us happy. And then they hunt in the night when they switch it up a little bit. It's I guess, control. There's a lot of energy down in the planet. Not many people will stay here if we can. Some people can't leave. And she sort of gestures over to the star elf who's currently cooking up for more of these creatures that are sort of now come out and are sort of wandering over. This is some people's homes, but they will soon. They're parasites. They will soon drain the planet and it'll absorb, and then they'll move on. That's what they do.
That's sad.
No, it's awful, but that's what they do. I'm debating trying to put a stop to it. I think I found the entrance, one that they don't know about, but I don't know how probable that is going to be. So,
Well, we have a couple of hours, I think. I think we might not actually be, a band of adventurers, but Epsilon believes that we could handle this problem, or we might die. Either way, the Void will be happy.
So you have a few hours to spare, and you either want to die or save the planet.
Yes.
I like him. Like, she looks back over to the others. And
My blaster was most effective against the one in the dark.
that is correct. They do dwell in the dark. They don't tend to like anything too bright, shall we say. Too bright. But at the end of the day, they are flesh. You've just got to catch them first.
I am
And,
sure we can do that.
If you can, try not to look into their eyes.
What will happen?
Will we turn to stone?
No. Like, sort of looks over at Kim. He's like, what books do you read? No, it is said that those who look into their eyes go with them willingly.
You do not need be concerned. I am a Vect. I have an inflexible mind, which gives me resistance against such things.
It does.
You
So-
also do not have to worry. Epsilon is an amoeboid. which means nothing. So you might actually want to worry. We'll find out.
And Triss looks over at you. It's just, you are an interesting friend. I like you.
I want to point out that I'm still in Dilly form, and I've never met Dilly. I don't know who Dilly is. But I want to know this
Dilly.
is still, this blue. It's like Super Mario Sunshine when Bowser Jr. was in gross mode. That's what Epsilon looks like as Dilly.
Oh, it's so perfect. And she looks to you, and you can now see Clara. She's got this almost like all-in-one silver suit on, which seems to be almost built for her, with these packs down her arms, which you can guess are filled with maybe rations or something. And on her hip, 2 blades, which are almost like crystal, almost like glass blades attached to them. And she looks to all of you. So you'll come with me. I don't know how long it's going to be until the next blackout, but if we can stop them beforehand, then it'd be pretty handy.
I defer to our captain.
Let's
Captain?
go and take them out.
Captain says yes.
I mean, as you said, you had a few hours to spare, correct? And Dilly does a good job on like the whole cleaning thing. He's very good at it.
Was he safe during all the blackout stuff, or?
Oh, Dilly knows what to do. If anything, he probably just shut himself in your ship. It's airtight, right?
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Though we don't know how the Whistlings got in, perhaps it's not as airtight as we think.
Probably
That's what
check on Dilly later.
I need more
look-
duct tape.
I look at Sres again, who again was the only person who, when we got to a new planet, went straight to a market stall and started buying things.
Yeah, when you look over to Shress, Shress is kind of not with the group and appears to be sliding the pastry into her backpack, and she just kind of opens it and shuts it.
You, Stress. Is that your name?
Puts the backpack that's entirely too large and very not subtle.
Yes, I am Stress.
Are you willing to help?
I go where the captain goes.
That's good to know. Then, please follow me. And you hear that little ding of a bell as Triss opens the door. Sort of rests a hand on this Star Elf shoulder, who you can see she looks slightly nervous still, but is getting back into the flow of things. And she weaves you through these streets. And these streets are full again. They're packed. It's almost as if nothing happened at all. Kids are laughing and playing again. You see these people, almost like merchants, riding past on these huge birds, almost ostrich-like creatures, but with much larger wings as they tuck in underneath. And they're pulling these hover carts that have got all of these different things going along on the back. And she weaves you through these alleyways with this, again, this moving material is draped. Maybe you can smell almost like a dye as you can see it dripping, the water dripping onto the pathway in front of you is either bright reds or bright blues and things like that as people are dyeing the material up above. And she weaves round to this sort of solid metal disc in the ground where steam is coming out of. And I don't know what this is, but apparently it's been here a very long time. But I think it's down here. And you're almost in like the tiniest little courtyard. Like there's not, you can tell these are like the backs of houses. There doesn't seem to be anything really in here. But she leans down and sort of hooks up this big disc and throws it, and you hear it clatter. And you see the beginnings of what looks like a ladder on the way down. And she pulls this crystal out of her pocket, snaps it, and it starts to glow. Down we go. And she drops down the ladder and she slides down into the darkness.
I was kind of hoping for more light. I don't know about anybody else. Captain, do you have head beams?
In the darkness, like looking at CD Neo, he's just got thermal vision on, so when he turns to you, it's just like this red, like, ocular diamonds. I do not have head beams.
Oh, well.
Stress will reach into her belt, not her backpack, and pulls out a flashlight.
Here you go, Kimmy.
Oh, thank you. I take it, and again, I do the whole technomancy thing to make it like extra bright, so it's like not just a flashlight; it is like blinding as we go down.
Yeah, Stress, you see your flashlight. I need to not say torch. Flashlight, as it's
Torch,
sort of
flashlight,
just has
whatever.
like a small beam of light, and as these nanobots sort of start crawling over it, they sort of create this little silver dish around it. You see it just reflect the light out into
yes.
this room.
A high beam.
High beams.
I assume most of you have played with a slinky or something, correct? I want you to know that Epsilon saw this ladder, and their body's just doing ding, 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 ding down the ladder steps, just very gross.
And you have dark vision, so you can see.
I'm fine.
Okay, so what's the order people are going down at? Is that Epsilon going down first, feeling very confident?
I think they would follow, because what's the person's name we're following? I'm so sorry. Triss. Yeah, they're fine. They can see everything, and if so, and if other things happen, yeah, they're good. They're first.
Yeah, you sort of slinky your way down these steps. You feel yourself as you had it. You sort of feel like the world turning as you sort of go down, and you can see Triss at the bottom with this crystal. It's almost too late. She goes, whoa, and moves out of the way as you sort of half splat on the floor, but immediately meld back up into your shape. Like, I'm assuming you've done this often, so this isn't the first time. So, yeah. And who would go next?
I would mechanically descend the ladder.
Yeah, on the way down, Epsilon, you and Trissa stood there. She's sort of watching you reform, and you hear this toom, 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 as CD starts making his way down this metal ladder.
Stress, will you watch my back, please?
Of course. You go first.
Okay. You watch my back. And she kind of is like quickly like scurries down and is worried, but
you see
in the middle. Very
Stress,
strictly
like,
in the middle.
Leans forward, hands on knees, and is literally staring down at you.
Figure of speech. We've worked on this. No, when you get down here, we'll go over it again.
Little tongue flicker.
I will take that as a yes. Scurries down. Gets the flashlight out and...
And what about Stress? Are you coming straight down? Or?
Yes, doing the whole like grabbing the edges and then just whoosh, sliding down.
Do a dexterity check. You can do it. I just want to see how well you do it. Like, is there a superhero landing at the end? Or is that like...
Can I convince athletics?
Of course.
Okay, cool. I am not dexterous. Fine. Everything's fine. Can I just say...
Yes.
I have not rolled higher than a 10.
You have my curse. This is normally my curse, so this could just be me. I apologize.
Can't relate. Sorry.
You slide down magnificently, but you miss your last footing at the end, and you just sort of fall on your bum and just like sort of as you sit there, and you can see as you sort of look around to the side, Epsilon, CD, Kimmy, and Triss just sort of like lights looking at you as you do this.
I take 20 points of embarrassment damage. just see.
Ow, my scales.
And you hear Triss, sort of as she walks off into the darkness, like, come on, we need to go. And she casts a light up ahead, and you are effectively in a tunnel that is sloping downwards. And it starts off pretty damp, like it's pretty wet. And you can see water dripping down from the ceilings. And there's this very sort of musty, hot sort of smell, very stale. And you can hear all of the water dripping down the walls, dripping down the sides. And you can see some blue and red running in from somewhere. You're guessing you're walking underneath the street where the dyeing was happening, of all the sheets and things. But you're definitely descending. And you can feel the temperature dropping as you go. Would anyone, if anyone wants to look around, please make a perception check.
I can.
I would also love to. Can multiple people do it?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Oh, scrap.
there's-
That's such a contradiction to what you just said.
That's a karma nat one there. That's a karma nat one.
Okay, everyone above 10.
Which is everyone. Other than.
Everyone other than Scrat. Oh, no. You can see some of these tubes, smaller ones, sort of disappearing in and out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
These purple tubes as they run. And as you get deeper and deeper, you see these crystals, purple crystals, protruding out of the wall, sort of in clusters here and there. And you can hear those whispers more intently. They're getting louder. It's almost like they're echoing around the tunnel.
Is it still unintelligible, or?
Roll another perception. Oh, actually, no, because you will roll pretty well on perception. I'll say you can hear things just like, hello? Is anyone here? Hello? And then you can hear another one going, no, I had a really good day today. It was really, really nice. It's almost like conversations again.
Can Epsilon scuttle over towards, I guess, one of the purple crystals and look at it and see what it is?
Yeah, roll. You can either roll a perception or an investigation. I will use a medicine check actually on this one.
See, I did that last time and I nat you 1. Yay! Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
That was a 19 and a 20.
Yeah.
Just so it's
You get very close to this crystal, and the rest of you can see it casting this purple light on Epsilon. And Epsilon, you're picking up hundreds of life forms like you did before. The thing is, these life forms, as I said, seem to be old. You think these are containing memories. As if it's picked it all up like a recording. And using, it seems to be what's powering the crystal, powering that light. And from that you can assume probably the energy in the tubes.
The crystals are fueling the tubes, or the memories are fueling the tubes?
You get the feeling that the memories are fueling the crystals, but the crystal has an exact similarity to whatever is in the tube.
Got it. Understandable. Oh yeah, Epsilon just. Oh, and their body kind of does like a. Well, the lower body stays put. The upper body turns and flips towards CD. This is an interesting mission. Epsilon found out that there might be something inside of this. Some maybe memories. I don't know. The Void would know, but I don't want to talk to them right now. They might be mad at me.
Why would the void be mad at you?
Oh, the void is fickle. The void is chaotic. The void is the void. Sometimes it's very nice. Sometimes it's my best friend. Sometimes it wants to rip my body into pieces. But it's the void. It's very interesting, like a mystery.
I now know why I spend more time in the hall and not in the med bay.
You should go to the med bay. I'm still really good with my hands.
You have
Whatever
hands?
they are. Well, sometimes I might have 3 fingers. I might have 5 fingers. I might have 17 fingers, depending on the day.
Right. The crystals.
Oh, yes. They have something, memories, all alone in the moonlight.
Mary, I just wanted to start singing now.
You even made Scrat facepalm.
No, I'm proud of that. I think that's awesome.
But yes, if you want to listen, it sounds like someone is, I don't know, many things.
Yeah, I heard the talking. It sounded like conversations, so it's memories of conversations, or just memories, or...
But a note, it looks like these memories are what powers this planet. Or at least the light. Or at least the purple stuff upstairs.
And so these under-earthers are controlling the memories, or stopping the memories?
If I can infer, it seems like they are dragging people off, killing them, taking their memories, splitting them into crystals to charge this planet. It's like a big symbiosis, or whatever the word is.
You think they're making the memory?
Who knows? Not me. Not Epsilon.
But... Triss, didn't you say this started recently, or does this... Have they always been here? The spooky under-earthers.
Well, I haven't been here all that long myself. I've only really been here around 20 years. Otherwise, it's been here a very long time. The elves say it's been centuries.
So they could actually be making the memories for all we know.
I don't know. I just know that when it gets dark, those creatures come out. And whoever they take, we don't see them again.
And they get turned into purple goo. Maybe.
I am not optimized for becoming purple goo. My random access memory is designated for my own purposes and not for powering civilization.
So you think? Who knows?
Intense
Maybe
calculations.
In 100 years. Sorry, you can go.
Intense calculations.
Intense calculations.
Your ocular visors squint as you calculate.
As you keep walking down the steep steps, you realize that you've been walking for almost an hour. It's this purple light is almost hypnotizing. And it's getting cooler and cooler and cooler. And then from somewhere round the corner, you can hear scuttling. You hear movement. You can hear almost like a song. It's not Memories in the Moonlight, but you can hear a song. Almost like a chant, this hum. From somewhere down the end of this tunnel, there is a very soft purple light glowing.
If Epsilon sees this real quick, if Epsilon sees this, you will see them close whatever eyes they may have. Probably don't even have eyes. Who knows? But that spiral blackish gray purple thing that's on their forehead starts to spin a little bit. Maybe, who knows? and from it you see 3 like almost like black shadowy tendrils in a way shoot out and touch CD, Kimmy, and Stress. You all have been aided. You can add 5 to your hit point maximum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Void is pretty nice right now. I thought he hated me, but I guess not. They hated me. Sorry. The Void is
Thank you, Mr.
jingless.
Void.
I'm going to pull the sniper rifle off my back and look through the scope with my thermal vision.
Whatever this is, it's round a corner.
It is not in my line of sight. We will have to investigate closer if we want to see.
We'll follow your lead, Captain. Anywhere you go, we go too.
Preparing rocket hammer.
Are you doing this stealthily? Or are you literally going in all guns blazing?
So, I would prefer stealthing, but that's me. I just got fingers up. Everybody else is all impressive, and one's shining, one's got a rocket hammer, one has a sniper rifle and a lot of guns, and I'm just... I'm ready! I'm ready, guys!
Yeah, let's rush it. Let's go around the corner.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you rush around the corner, and as you do, you burst in on this scene. This scene of what looks to be a strange ritual going on as all of these creatures, these witches, these tall... Suddenly you realize how tall these things are. They're around 7 foot as they're long and gangly, these grayish skin, very humanoid faces. Long hair hangs over the front of their face and all down their back, reaching down to below their ribs. As all of their heads snap towards you, these white eyes, they seem to be chanting, locking their hands together in these very long fingers. So much so it's almost double the length of my forearm here. As they lock round, and they're chanting towards this huge crystal at the center. And you can see what looks to be almost like spirits swirling in this crystal. And you can see this channel, this energy coming from the crystal towards these creatures as if it's fueling them. All around you on the floor as you step in, you hear a crunch and you realize the floor is covered with bones, picked clean. And crystals hang from the ceiling, wrapped in what looks like almost like a weed or a rope. And you can hear the voices of those fallen hanging from the ceiling. Could you all please roll initiative?
I have initiative advantage.
You do.
Thanks to my quick draw ability. I'm also putting away the sniper rifle and drawing the revolver.
Okay, so
Thank God for the advantage. 22, thank you.
hang on. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry. So we go. Hang on. Let's roll for the witches and the crystal. 6. Okay. They go last. So we are going to go.
Great.
Scrat. And the witches and the crystal go last. Okay, so Scrat. Sorry, see, what would you like to do as you see some of these? They sort of open their mouths and they hiss at you as these almost snake-like tongues come out. These very hollow, very white eyes.
Do any of them have any, like, weapons in their hand or anything like that?
Nothing at all.
Oh.
They don't look- You can see, however, this crystal channeling.
Sorry, I was
energy
just
into them.
100% reminding myself how everything works with the gunslinger. I'm just gonna pop a shot off.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 23 hit the closest one.
Ooh, just about, yeah.
Coming down the other side of the barrel this time, you can see "Praise the Sun" etched on the other side. As I'm gonna fire and unload 3 piercing damage on them. Damn, I'm rolling well.
Okay. One of them, you fire towards this creature, and you see it take a hit as it hits it, sort of like its shoulder, and you see that light from the barrel of your gun almost start to sear through, creating a hole all the way through out the other side of this witch, as it stops and looks back at you. And for a moment, there is that purple glow coming from the crystal, and you see it start to heal back up.
Bonus action, draw my blaster with the other hand. Really badly scribed on this one is dusk in bad lettering.
Okay.
It looks like a factory blaster, like, you know, a training blaster.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
That is it. I will stand kind of near the doorway, both guns ready.
Okay, Kimmy, it is your turn. You have 4 witches in front of you and this huge crystal that seems to be channeling this energy.
I'm going to. I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta roll 2d8. Let me just. I'll just do the spell card so you can see it for right now. And then I need to roll 2d8. So I have an acid one and a lightning one.
Okay.
I think I'm going to, for the moment, take the lightning bolt that comes out of my finger.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to do a attack. Yeah, I guess I have to make an attack roll first.
You make an attack roll.
Duh. Help if I was 13?
That does not hit.
Oh. So just lightning shoots out of her finger and hits the wall. Woo!
Yeah. The lightning seems to surround around one of these witches, and that static, almost like it fizzles out as this purple light comes from the crystal.
Ooh! Oh god!
Diffusing it.
Bonus action cantrip?
Of course. Why not?
I'm gonna just do finger guns, cause why not?
Okay. That hits.
19? Oh, yay!
What are you hitting? There are 4 witches.
I'm actually gonna. Can I try to shoot one of the crystals on the wall?
Yeah, there's lots of little ones hanging down, but there is one big one in the center.
Can I try to shoot that?
The little ones seem to be memories being kept.
Can I shoot the big one?
Yeah, go for it. You roll the damage for me, please. Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah.
6 force damage.
Yeah, you sort of you throw your hand out as this energy sort of goes past. It sort of waves almost past the these witches, and you watch the crystal just shudder for a moment.
I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but I shot it.
It is Stress's go.
You see Stress very carefully weasel out of the backpack, puts it down very gently, then rocket hammer in hand, will rage, rolls their head back and just tongue just going wildly, raging, and she will charge towards the crystal because that is what Kimmy shot last, and she's going to smash it with a hammer.
Smash it with a hammer. Empress New Groove, thank you.
Definitely hits.
Okay.
Why do we even have that lever cronk?
I will also engage the thruster.
Whew, yes.
Ooh.
Also,
There's an also?
yes, I am a barbarian of the Wrecker subclass. I have Dismantle, so I have the ability to do twice my rage bonus damage if I deal damage to a construct. Is this a construct?
I think it is.
Awesome, so that 2 will be a 4. So that's 19 damage total.
Awesome.
So you see this rocket hammer, it's like, it charges up and you see vents open up. There's like a little thruster engaging, just boosh, down.
As you do that, you bring it down and you can see it just crack along the top. It is Espelon's go.
As this is happening, they kind of form into themselves almost a little bit, and it's almost like they're doing this, but not really. And that spiral is spinning more and more and more, and in a language I assume no one knows because it's amoeboid. It sounds like what he's saying is, have you ever heard the sound of silence? You will now, and immediately a cone or a sphere of silence will be marked right onto the crystal. So anything within some feet. Wait, let me live. Let me find this thing. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Can you actually? What are you doing? I hate you right now. My apologies.
It's an appropriate song to be singing when you're putting the sound of silence out there.
Exactly. There we go. Boom. What just happened? Anywho, it's silence. It's a 20-foot radius. So anything within that, if it's casting a spell using a verbal component, it can't do it.
Okay. As you see Epsilon just sort of almost chattering away to himself, this crystal at the center of the room, the one that's glowing, just goes just dark. And CD, where you hit that witch, you see that hole starting to reform where you hit it. And it is now the witch's turns. As this has happened, you can see them panic. They go and they start to scream. And the first one lashes out.
I was like, and here's nothing because you can't hear your own voice.
At Epsilon.
Oh my!
Okay.
Oh, that's at me?
Yep.
So question, how close was it? Because I never left the area. I am definitely at least...
Oh yeah, no, they've moved out. So this one is like
Great.
the long arms. It's just slashing at you. It's not...
Oh, no problem. I just wanted to make sure.
At you. So please take 8 damage, please.
Okay.
This other one comes like slashing as it sort of leaps almost in an inhale. It sort of crouches down and springs itself towards you, CD, as it is the one that you shot.
Oh.
15 hit.
No, it ricochets off of my embedded armor. I have velocity plating, which moves into place to block the attack.
Yeah, as you move, you can see this creature just sort of, as a shield comes up, you see it get knocked aside as it crashes down.
Wrong one, it's actually composite plating, but never mind, let's roll with it.
The other two see this and they go, one of them goes for you again.
Hang on, that will hit. But
Okay.
I'm going to spend a risk dice to increase my AC by 1 risk dice. My risk, what value are my risk dice? They are D8, so I get to spend 1 D8 and increase my AC, which is currently 17, by that amount.
Roll for me.
You don't hit.
Barely.
You don't hit.
Describe what that looks like for me.
You know what? It is like velocity plating. The plates do just like, it looks like it's about to hit and then...
Awesome. And the last one goes for Shress as they've just seen them attack their crystal. Does a 17 hit?
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Stress is not wearing any armor.
So please take 4 damage as you feel these almost like long fingers slash. You realize they're very pointed at the end as they slash across you, and these like red welts appear on
Is
your
this
skin.
magical slash damage? Or just
This isn't magical. This is literally just slash.
Okay. With my rage, I take half.
Okay, perfect. CD, it is your turn. And you've just deflected 2. You've seen 1 attack Stress and 1 attack Epsilon, and they're going into like a panic now. This crystal you can see is slowly chipping. You can see it trying to power up, but it doesn't seem to be giving them anything anymore.
With my action, I will unload again on the first one that attacked me with Dawn.
Yep, that hits.
18. So there's another 8 piercing damage.
Perfect.
And then bonus action, left hand dusk fires as well. Boom!
Woo! Yes.
And do you know what? I'm definitely gonna overcharge that as well to get the double overcharge damage.
Go for it.
14, 24, 25 damage? No, wait. Yeah, no, 12, 21. 21 damage.
21. Okay. You fire at this witch, and as you hit it, well, describe how you kill it.
Yeah, I'm gonna, the first shot's gonna be like a knee shot with the revolver, and then the blaster comes up as they fall down to around hip height, so I can hip shoot their head away. Like, just a...
Yeah, you can
hot,
hear
molten...
as you fire at it, this screech as it sort of goes, and it sort of almost starts to shrivel up and slowly turn to dust. And sort of starts the hair is still there, and you can see some of the nails as it just lays there. It is now Kimmy's turn.
I'm going to look at the one that just hit Stress, and I'm gonna get like real angry face and be like, "Don't hurt my friends!" And then I'm going to try to cast Mind Spike. I need to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
DC 15.
No.
Oh!
So which are you casting this on, or is this
Specifically the one that just hit Stress.
Okay. So
Why is it 10? It's 15.
it's alright, that's fine.
It says 15 on my...
Either way, I got a 4. So, okay. Yeah, you describe
hit him
what it
with
looks
psychic
like
damage.
for me.
She kind of gets this mean face, and those like little nanobots kind of crawl over and kind of light up her eyes before they just kind of like flare out and just smack into this crazy witch person's like, I have crazy eyes too.
As Stress, as you're sort of like leering over, you can feel this creature leering over you as if it's about to try and make eye contact with you, but you see it screech as it moves away as Kimmy reaches out just in time. And it is now Stress's go. This gives you the opportunity you needed.
Ah, yes. Stress will take the rocket hammer up and then try to clonk that same witch across the head.
Roll for me.
Dink. Bada bada.
Yes.
9 damage.
9. Perfect. Okay. Is that the end of your turn? Would you like to do anything else?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. You crash into this witch. You sort of like knock her sideways. She was not expecting it after having this effective this mind spike sent her way as she grabs her head through her hair in her hands. She screeches, and then you just stand up and prop her up a swing her as she flies backwards. It is now Epsilon's turn. What would you like to do? The crystal is still completely silenced.
And there's a thing right in front of me, correct?
There is, yes.
Yes. So I think their eyes was closed for a moment, and then when this thing, and it needs to make a con save. as I attempt to show it the light of the void. DC 14.
Is that a wisdom save?
Con.
Oh, con save.
It's probably gonna be. Oh,
No.
oh, yay! So they will take and it saw me, so it doesn't have advantage. Apparently, if the target has advantage, if it can't see me, but it can see me.
It can see
Exactly. So it's gonna take 1d8 radiant damage. Please roll an 8. Dang it! I wanted to roll an 8. If I rolled an 8, I could have rolled it again for more damage. So they take 5 radiant damage.
You hear like that hissing again as this light strikes them, and you can see their skin start to sort of almost like sizzle a little bit as it sort of burns, and you see those embers almost like as you hit this radiant damage. And you see that crystal in the background crack a little bit longer. It is the witch's turn.
And really quickly,
Yes.
because I've been here, but I've been looking at my sheet. Did anyone get hit?
Yes, Stress did.
Stress did, thank you. Bonus action, healing word. That's what I was supposed to do. Yeah, they just and then and that will be this healing word is something 1d4 plus my thing, I believe. I don't healing cleric. I'll be very specific about that. Yeah, 1d4 plus my spellcasting modifier. So you will get great 7 points of health.
Oh, thank you. I feel better already.
Perfect. One of these, so one of the witches is down. The other one is currently knocked over, so they're not going to attack. One of them is attacking CD. As the other one, as it gets back up after being thrown by its shield last time. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, yeah, no, is that good? Or have you still got your constant thing on?
Is it meets beats for armor class? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna spend another risk dice to increase my AC by 1d8. Is there any point rolling it? I mean...
No, there's no point rolling it. Okay, so it sort of comes and it brings these claws down as it hisses, and you see these long, very needle-like teeth as it hisses out at you. And it just scratches. It hits the armor. You can hear it clang against metal as it doesn't hit at all.
Does it make the...
Yeah, the down the blackboard sort of sound. And then the last one is by Epsilon, as it's struggling to get up to its feet. Does a 16 hit Epsilon? It does, okay. Please take 3 damage. It's almost like these claws run through you, but the sort of the fluidness of you sort of like keeps it going all the way through.
That was not nice.
And it sort of turns around, rears up, and just hisses back at you. CD, it's your turn.
Well, this one's right in front of me, screeching in my face and scrubbing down my armor. I feel it's only right to shoot him again twice. Once with the revolver. Ooh,
Does not hit.
12. Can I retroactively spend my advantage on that?
Yeah, go on then.
Awesome. To do 8 piercing damage.
Perfect.
And then I'll use Dusk in the offhand bonus action shot.
You are rolling well today, everyone. What the hell is happening?
For a 22. Damn it, if I had another advantage. Only I had another advantage. I'm just gonna pop that again quickly so I don't roll. Oh my god, so I don't roll a crit. I was literally just saying so I don't roll a crit. Okay. One more time. Oh my god! You know what? We're just going to take the left number. 10.
10.
Apparently I can't not roll nat 20s.
Yeah, this thing is leaping towards you, and as you do, you pull out this gun and you just fire, and it sends it back. It looks pretty bad as it sort of like tries to pull itself up off the floor. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, I'm good.
This
Kimmy,
is why
it's
he's
your
our
turn.
captain. I am. Well, since that one's dead.
There is one that is on its last legs, which CD has just shot. There is one that hasn't been touched yet. And there's one that doesn't look great. And the crystal, you can see that spider line crack all the way going down.
I want to finger guns the crystal again,
Go for it.
just in case, because I don't trust it. 20?
20, there you go.
One,
Oh.
but yeah,
You
know.
it.
Just go.
The absolute worst.
Pew! Okay.
You literally hear that, you see that as it sort of hits the thing, and everyone's sort of like, oh, but then that crack just goes a little bit further.
Oh! That's a bonus action, but I don't really have a main action. I'm just don't die.
Don't you have a
inspiring.
giant wrench?
Oh!
Yeah, like
Yeah, I do, but
literally sat there with a giant wrench on your back, like, I'm gonna get it, guys. I got this.
I'll turn and yeah. I guess I'll be like, okay. And I'm gonna try to hit something. I'm not very good with it, but Ooh! No.
Doesn't hit, I'm
You have an
afraid.
advantage. You have an advantage. You have an advantage.
Advantage! Retroactive!
Roll for you.
Ah!
And again, with
7.
advantage. And again, because of advantage. Is that how we're doing it, Scrat?
Or do you want
That's crit damage right there.
Oh, that is it. Okay.
unless okay, yeah. Unless you want me to re-roll it again, I can re-roll it again.
You're all good. Okay, you see a huge crack hit this crystal as it spider webs all around the side. This almost blackness comes up, and you hear this scream of old souls start to come out as it starts to shatter.
I'm sorry.
You actually don't, because it's still silenced.
Not the souls, they're not magic.
You see Kimmy look back with a panicked look and go,
It is Stress's turn.
Stress will run up to the witch that has not been touched yet. And she will use Reckless Attack. So I can do this with advantage, but the creature that attacks me back can also use advantage.
Thank you very much, Sphinx, who gives advantages to everyone
Oh, thank you, thank you.
except for Alice.
Rude. Yes.
I will
Boring.
also power this up too.
Fabulous.
That is 17 damage.
Perfect. Okay. Is that the end of your turn, or would you like to do anything else?
That will be all. Thank you.
Okay. This one that looks barely harmed at all that like has come running towards you, and again you've sort of like baseball swung sort of like this thing as it's and send it across the small room as it slides across the floor. It is Epsilon's turn. As you've got this one in front of you, it looks pretty bad.
Epsilon notices the cracks in the crystal, right? And I would assume that with them being the one to silence and noticing how it affected the creatures, like he's aware of the connection.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then, how far away is it from me right now?
The crystal you could get to probably in about 10 feet. This is not a big room.
That's fine. I'm actually not moving.
Mhm.
Actually, I will move. I'm going to move back. It's going to get an attack of advantage, attack of opportunity though. The thing, it can take it if it wants.
Okay, I'll take that now, just so we've got it done.
Nope.
15 hit. Nope.
Nope. Which is why I was like, it's okay. It's okay if it happens. Whatever. I'm not very mad. But as Epsilon starts to move back, you see that circle get wider on its forehead, and then wider and wider, and then he grabs something and he starts to pull out, and there's a long, like almost like javelin coming out that he throws at the crystal. I am using my channel divinity, which is Shape Void. I can't link it into the thing because I don't got it all in there. But just know that I'm going to make a melee spell attack, so that's +6. Stop it! There we go. Advantage, because that's bull. Great.
Roll
Wow.
the attack, please. The damage, please.
No, you got me messed up. The damage, it's going to take force damage equal to my wisdom modifier plus a 1d12 for each point of proficiency I have, which is 2. So it's 2d12 plus my wisdom modifier.
Fabulous. Sorry.
Plus 4. That is shit.
Oh, the best thing is that it shatters the crystal though by 1 point. So, as you throw this, Kimmy, you're stood there. As you turn around and go, I'm sorry, this javelin of the void, this dark sort of spear comes whooshing past you. Feel your hair move as it skims past and just plunges into this crack where the crystal is. And it shatters almost musically into thousands and thousands of pieces.
I'd say I dropped concentration too.
Yeah. It doesn't
This
have time
looks
to
musical.
power up. This looks
This is gonna be epic, guys. I'm dropping concentration. We're gonna hear this just destroy.
Exactly.
You just drop the mic as this all of these souls scream, and you feel this rush of cold air as all of these souls stream past you, almost like shattering. I need you all to make a Constitution save.
Oh.
It's
See,
not
maybe
big.
I shouldn't have dropped concentration. Great. Amazing.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Why am I the highest and I'm right next to it?
CD and Epsilon. You both hear this ear-shattering scream, and Epsilon, just by dropping that concentration, just take 1d4 damage. Hang on, I'll roll it for you. 1. There you go. 1 as literally, if you
Amazing.
had ears, they'd be ringing. Like, you can't hear much. It's almost like your perception of like sounds has gone out of whack. It's like you're feeling like you're underwater. See, same for you. 1d4, 2. As it's like the mechanical earwaves that start to fizzle and fry, sort of inside. You can still hear things, but it's not good, and you would roll future perceptions with disadvantage. The 3
All of us?
goes. Yeah, just Epsilon and CD. Just
Got
the
it.
3 turns. There is you can see the cave you're in. The ceiling starts to shake. One of the rocks comes down and crushes one of the witches, one of the ones that's still alive. However, one of them is still coming out to attack. It is the one in front of CD. So 20. 11 doesn't hit. And then we are back up to CD's turn. As this witch lashes out for you and the ceiling starts to fall, you can see this all the stalactites and stalagmites start to crumble and fall. And you know you haven't got long probably to get out of here.
I would like to holster my blaster as a bonus action and fire at the witch. The one looks really weak in front of me, right?
Yes, it looks really bad.
Okay, I'm going to try and blow it away with my revolver.
Doesn't hit. in the panic, you sort of fire, and there's a rock hits the side of your arm, and the shot goes up.
Oh.
You
I don't have
fire
anything.
again, or?
No, I used my bonus action to stow my blaster, so
Okay. Kimmy, it is your turn. You've just seen your captain have a rock just land on his arm, sort of send the fire up as all this ceiling starts coming down around you.
I have to save my captain. I'm going to first do my bonus action and shoot at it.
Mm-hmm. That is. You finger gun it to death. What does this look like as you kill this witch in front of you?
He goes to shoot. He goes to shoot and he misses. But then like Kimmy's like right behind him and it hits it so that when he looks back, he believes that he actually killed it. It's like, good shot, Captain! And I'm gonna go like hurry to get out of there. Can I also, for my action, where's Triss?
Triss is there with you. She's been fighting this other witch.
Okay. Okay.
She's good.
I hadn't heard anything about her this entire fight, and it dawned on me, and I was like, "Oh God!"
About her, I'm not gonna lie.
I was expecting the betrayal of the century, so I'm happy that she's just there helping us. So
she's
hashtag
still
DM problems.
Hey, I was told to do this like 2 hours beforehand.
I know.
Bless your soul.
Yeah, she's turning around and looking at all of you as all of these rocks start to go, we need to go now, as she starts sprinting back up the corridor we came.
Running with her.
Okay. You all sprint out of the cavern. You get that last... yes, go for it.
Just really quickly. It specifically says I had to have been living. So can I see if I could have touched... Wait. Yeah. I definitely... No, screw that. I touched it. You see Epsilon take on the form of one of those witches, one of those creatures, and just start booking it like,
like capturing up the whole.
Yep. And I want to know if it has 40 feet of movement. I don't know what it has. I officially have 40 feet of movement.
You have more than 40 feet of movement.
I can go to a maximum of 40 feet.
Okay. You all start sprinting up this tunnel. You get that glance as you look back, and you see how many witches were hanging off of the ceiling dormant as they all screech and hiss as the whole ceiling comes down, starting to block off the passage. You see a screaming Epsilon kind of witch tear up the corridor, almost passing Triss, who looks back very concerned as you head back. You can all sprint up up to this exit where you can see the ladder. I need you all to make a dex check to avoid the last rocks that start coming down.
Check or save?
You can use athletics or you can use acrobatics. You just need to tell me how you're avoiding it.
Oh, definitely acrobatics for me. I have -2 in strength.
Acrobatics as well.
I gotta go acrobatics.
Oh my God.
The thing
All
was,
lucky sevens.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my advantage because I don't have very good acrobatics.
Can I get you to use disadvantage then?
Oh no! 13.
On your disadvantage of 10. You see your captain fall and trip, and he sort of catches you, and you go down with him.
Oh no!
However, this Epsilon witch is booking it out of there as he's sort of tearing along, and you see Stress just sort of like one of the rocks comes down, and you manage to use your hammer to just smash it and knock it aside as you run. Triss following. CD and Kimmy, you can make one more dex check to get out of here. And it is easier on this one because you're now both with each other, so you can do this with advantage.
Dex saving throw or like acrobatics?
Again, acrobatics or athletics, whichever you prefer. Both at advantage because you're with each other, pulling each other up.
Roll20 has been very kind to me tonight, and I'm slightly terrified of that.
Valid. Looking forward to Monday, huh?
No, I'm not. Monday's going to be terrible. Don't kill
Oh, wait,
my
waiting
boy.
for me to roll as well.
Yeah, you need to roll as well.
Acrobatics, yeah?
Or athletics, whichever you prefer.
Definitely acrobatics. Try again! Oh, well, okay. A solid 14.
Kimmy, you manage to get to your feet on a nat 20. You grab hold of your captain, who is getting to his feet. Just as you all climb up this ladder, as you fall effectively almost out of this this sewer, as the last stone comes down and locks whatever is behind you, and you hear somewhere this hissing, this scrabbling as it fades into the distance, and this screeching as you burst out into sunlight, as people are screaming all around you, sort of not panicking, but there's something happening. As you see almost the darkness start to shatter, all of the lights explode. And up in the sky, there is a sun. As this purple shimmer starts to disappear, almost like in a dome, as it fizzles away, revealing a sun in the sky. As people stop, I was about to say all look up, it's very bad for you to not do that. Not to look directly at the sun. As people look up in awe, for most people, they've never seen this before. As there's a huge sun in the sky and 5 planets that align with it. And there is a moment where there is rejoicing. People don't know what you've done. As you can stroll back, all the way back to your ship where Dilly is waiting with the keys. You hear the beep beep as he sort of opens up your ship, and you see the lights flash on the side of the Olympius. And you see that crew, this huge winged bird-like creature, and all of these gnomes standing to attention. Dilly comes over with a payslip, holds it out.
Here is all of your receipts and all the registration, all the things we've tidied. Just so you are aware, we were unsure whether the Wismos were yours or not, so we have put them in a box in the galley. They are yours to do with what you will.
A sealed box?
Yes, of course. I don't know how long it will contain them. They seem to be a little bit destructive.
You see this bird squawk and flap on his shoulder.
But here's your keys.
And he sort of drops them in your hand.
We also replaced all the toilet rolls, the vending machines, and also you have a fresh thing of water in there as well. You're all fueled up and ready to go.
Thank you very much.
Because, still a witch.
Yeah, Dilly's looking at you rather curious,
Oh,
I nearly died.
that's like a Nazgul.
It's been a trying day.
And Dilly sort of smiles and looks at you.
interesting.
Is that sort of
Come on.
and sort of hails his this little troop of gnomes and this Aragog as they start moving away. And you hear them as they enter through that huge metal archway going,
What the hell happened?
and that's where we'll leave this one shot, which has been made up on a whim, so I'm sorry if it doesn't make much sense, but there you go.
Oh, Alex, this was wonderful. Thank you. Well, so let's wrap up. We'll go around. We'll go the opposite way around. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, and all the good things that you do. And yeah, let's go around. Let's start with Critical Bard, CB.
Hey! Yes, Critical Bard here. I am again your lovable bardic joy who just wants to be a little light in this world. Yeah, as I said, you can find me on many different places. But most importantly, your boy finally got a merch site. Hey! So you can get shirts and a hat and a mug and some other things, some stickers. Yeah, get things and go to PAX U because I won't be there, sad face. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Didn't think it was going to be as popping as it has been. So I'm really excited. So yeah, that's mainly it. Just being me, living life. Yeah, thank you for having me on here. This was fun. Epsilon was a lot more of a hoot than I expected them to be.
I love he's left in witch form. That's my favorite thing about him.
I have to say, I didn't know if we were gonna do anything in the town when we came back. They were gonna run up to a random person like, "Ooh, what's this?" in witch form, just to see what happens. But yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And would you do me a huge favor and pop your merch link in the chat for me? That'd be great.
I can do. Oh, because it is quitbard.com. I saved that domain. I will do that.
Thank you. So next around the screen we have Stella Luna.
Hello. I am Stella Luna here on Twitch. I am a variety streamer. I do things artsy fartsy and TTRPGs. I run a game of Symbaroum, which is a Swedish TTRPG dark fantasy setting and story created by Yaringen, and that is on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I also have a Dark Matter campaign at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays. And thank you so much for letting me play here today. This was really, really fun. Also, I totally imagine Shress just carrying her backpack like a baby into her room, and you just see her just like, she goes, "You're a good girl," and then you just see the door close.
Get the pastry, save the pastry.
Ooh. Thank you. Next on screen we have that Kayla person.
Oh, hi guys. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Yeah, like I said, you can find me Monday, 10 p.m. here on the same channel. So just don't ever leave. Why would you ever leave? There's no reason to leave. And then you can find me on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here as well in the DM chair instead of playing. And that's going to be fun. But this was freaking amazing. I love Kimmy because I have her in another campaign, but making her in D&D was so much fun. And I just imagine at some point she probably opened the box out of pure curiosity and let all of the Wismos back out again. So she probably was the one who originally brought it in because she was so just curious about them. Just like, ooh, what is this one? And then brought it on, and then it multiplied, and poor Strex got blamed for it.
Awful person. Last around the screen, we have our wonderful last-minute DM. Thank you for coming in at the last minute, Alice.
You. I've never DM'd anything that's not Argo before, so this was pretty off the cuff. I love Dark Matter. Thank you all for being awesome players and dealing with my shenanigans last minute, as most of this was made up as I went along, so thank you very, very much. I'm Alice. I'm also WhiteRabbitPic on Twitter. I am a DM for the channel. I do Call of Cthulhu. I do Cypher System Doors of Genera. I do another one. What's the other one I do? Alas, the Awful Sea. That's what I do. And I also play in some games over here as well. Otherwise, I'll hand back over to the very lovely Scrat. And I have a Patreon, otherwise Hans will shout at me if I don't say it, so I have a Patreon.
Okay, well that just leaves me, and all I'm going to do is plug my sponsors quickly. If you enjoyed Dark Matter today, you should go and pre-order their hardback book of Dark Matter, which is available now. I twisted their arm a little bit, and they made it available for pre-order, so take advantage of that. Go and buy it. Use the code MHPSCRAT to get 15% discount. Do the thing. Also, check out The Deck of Many, who made The Deck of Many Things and lots of other cool things. They've got a Black Friday sale on at the minute. Go and check them out. If you spend over $100, you can get free shipping with the code Scratticus. And check out Hero Forge, where you can make 1,000 different minis with all sorts of crazy combinations of things and different positions. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll lose a lot of time to it in the best possible way. We'll be back. I'm going to put about 20 minutes on the clock. 20 minutes on the clock, yep. And we will be back in those 20 minutes. So until then, keep on evoking emotions, everyone, and we'll see you later on. Doodles.